Hey there and welcome, my name is Carlos Berlis, and in this video we are talking about that you actually write the lore for yourself. So what is commonly discussed as lore in tabletop games, also sometimes called fluff by some wargamers in this world, it is the inward story and details. Lore is the information that tries to convey that the world is alive and believable. A major part of it is to try to show that the world is vibrant, existed before the characters got there, will continue to exist even if the players weren't there, and that it exists outside of whatever the PCs are doing. Creating an ambience and this feeling of the world to be alive, it is indeed important when playing any kind of tabletop games, but even more in RPGs, at least in my particular opinion. The issue is that people tend to conflate lore and ambience, and while they can and should work in tandem, they are not the same. But let's go a bit deeper on lore being made for yourself or other GMs and narrators. Usually lore comes from either a published campaign, setting, or an adventure where it will have the whole description of the world and so on. Or either the other case is that the GM will come up with it. And it is the second case that we will focus here, and it can easily lead to frustration, because plenty of GMs do not realize that most lore that they create, or even in broad strokes, the world building that they make is not primarily for the PCs, it is for them. At most, if you publish it even for free or on Reddit, whatever, it is for other GMs. And the frustration comes when the PCs do not recognize the effort or how good it is. Among other recurring complaints, it is true that PCs sometimes should be more grateful for some of the work that the GMs do in preparing and organizing games. It wouldn't hurt, but the GMs do this mostly for themselves, because they appreciate it. And for you, GM or narrator, don't you enjoy your world building and coming up with lore and so on? So it clearly has at least a tad of doing it for yourself, right? And now, picture how many things have you come up with, and perhaps they do not have a direct impact on the story. So, do you think that it was created for the PCs or for yourself, or perhaps whomever is reading this Bible of lore that you are coming up with? And we talk about creation and frustration. It is always important to assert your motivations. But in this particular case, it is also very important to consider that other people at the table do not feel the same way. So pose yourself some questions, like, is it really needed that the PCs know every single detail that you can come up with for them to enjoy the game, or this is what you want actually? Is it that bad if there are some threads that are not pulled, or some stones that are left unturned, and thus mysteries is still to be discovered? Or haven't you already enjoyed coming up with this lore and word and ideas, and thus in some way actually created it to yourself, that you enjoyed doing it? It is always good to have a word that makes sense, with reasons in game that work in tandem with meta reasons. We talked about game design before. Sure, and I commend you for making this effort, but your players don't ultimately need to know every single thing. If they got interested, perhaps they will actually look at it. If they need it for some quest or anything, perhaps they will get more interested. But I personally do not need them to be deeply into it or into the lore of my world and read the perhaps 50 pages of material that I came up with to really enjoy the game. They get to know some in a need-to-know basis. I am already happy if they want to know a bit and that they are enjoying the game, because I came at ease with the idea that I create ultimately for myself. And if they partake on this journey and want to know more, it is some extra enjoyment, and it's even better for me. But my enjoyment does not hang on that. So I already mentioned that we should normalize walking away from games in another video. So if you are the narrator or GM and you do not enjoy it, or you do not think that your effort is reciprocated, talk calmly with the players, like adults, like the most basic idea here, and or perhaps consider stepping down as the GM for a couple of sessions at least. perhaps the spark will reignite and you will see that all the creation was, yes, to share with them, but in the end you were creating it for yourself. So this idea that we need to create a lot in order to have the players to enjoy the game, or that they need to recognize and be deeply invested in the idea of the game, it's actually something that we trap ourselves into believing. So think about it. Think how much of the things that you create are actually you are creating for yourself, how this lore that you write and that you think about in the game, although they are important, they will help in the game, and if the players are interested, it's even better, but you are creating it for yourself. It is the word creation is your part of the enjoyment of the game, apart from running it. Okay? So, in a way, every creator needs to have at least a bit, and every creation, like art, is tied with ego. Think about it. Think about how you enjoy it and why you enjoy it. And apart from it, I guess that's it, the video. If you like the video, like the damn video, share, subscribe. You know how internet works. If you enjoy the video, consider paying me a coffee. The link is in the description, or check my projects in itch.io. And I see you all in my next video. So, see ya!